I have not heard any news on Xavier Worthy. I don't know, there hasn't been much release. Obviously, it's a clear dislocation. We saw it. We saw them pop his shoulder back into place on the sideline in week one. They've released no information. He's been a non-participant in practice all week,
Well,
but they haven't
didn't
given us a timeline. Andy Reid said he was day to day.
I was about to say that was then I heard Nick Wright talking about that he was considered day to day. So I don't think there's a whole lot to worry about, but
Well, I don't think there's
it's
anything to
definitely
worry about. I'm
fresh.
just wondering if he's actually going to play this week because he's also posted things on Instagram. He put out one of the pictures from the playoffs, I think, and then he posted also some lyrics about beating the odds physically and beating the odds mentally. So I'm wondering if he's not playing this week.
I mean, so it would be nice, but I don't think it puts the offense in a much different situation because the guy that we all really want back is Rashee Rice. Like no offense
Yeah.
to Xavier Worthy, like he's just like a specific type of receiver, and it's hard to force him the ball when like nothing else is working, right? Like he can't be the only thing that's working well for the offense, and I'm not saying that he was out fairly early in that game, so he didn't really get a chance to make a difference, but yeah, I don't see Xavier Worthy being like an X factor. Like him being on the offense means that we're in a much better position to win against the Eagles. It's going to be ridiculously hard either way. So,
I think if healthy last week is probably a different story. And I think that probably has a lot to do with at least offensive game plan and whatnot, not only his abilities on the field. I think game plan wise, there's just a big difference that goes on in that game. This week, I think personally, I'd probably rather have him sit. Eagles have a good defense. They're very physical. You put
and
him
not
out
risk
there,
of a further injury.
and that's what I'm saying. Like if he comes back in week three, okay, they've deemed him well enough. If he comes back until not until week four, whatever. But like I think it's too early, and the risk of re-injury, even though it seems only a dislocation, no broken bones, no ligament or any other or musculature damage. Um, I
But
think
yeah,
this is
once
still too
once it
early.
comes out, it pops out much easier. So
Yes.
read like do a little bit of rehab, take care of the shoulder, make sure you lessen that risk of re-injury because once something comes out of the socket, it just makes it more easy for it to happen again.
I agree. Yeah, and even then, yeah, you're probably going to put a brace, some sort of brace on him to make sure that his arm can only get so high, and with that is going to limit his football abilities and his abilities to be able to make catches, especially if he's going to be running go routes and being able to dive one way or the other and make those catches, things that we saw last season. That becomes much more difficult. Uh, it probably makes the game plan also harder trying to put him in there and make things have to work because we've already got so much work that needs to be done. Changes that need to happen in game two versus the Eagles that we
I
saw
mean,
from game one.
realistically, all the stuff that we talked about from the Chargers game, I'd like outside of play calling that we can just cross our fingers and hope that our coaches figure it out. But like I don't see us like I don't see the problems being fixed for the Eagles. I can see us being able to work on them against a good team, but like this is a real tough this is a tough team that coming off the performance from week one, like I definitely don't see corrections being made that quickly, like coming into a just a really difficult ass game. Like I think we're gonna
I
see more of the same,
uh,
unfortunately.
I don't fully disagree, but I do think a change gets made. Maybe not to start, but I think there's probably a plan in place sometime very early on in the game
For Jawan Taylor.
for Jawan Taylor. I think Juwan gets the start. Obviously, we won't know until game time, but I think he still gets the start. I don't think they'll remove him that quickly, but I think that there will be an opportunity within the first couple of drives where, hey, you're not blocking well, you're not able to cover. This defense is really good, and you're maybe you've had some of those false start penalties that are still an issue that we've seen it going into what year 3 with Juwan Taylor. Hey, it's time for Jalen Moore. I truly think that could happen in this game in quarter one.
Certainly wouldn't be against it, man. We're kind of at our wits' end dealing with offensive line issues, not just specifically Jawan Taylor, but all of last season being a real tough go for Pat passing the ball.
Yep.
Um, while we saw the left side anchored, we still have problems elsewhere on the offensive line. So it's
I
just
I
like it's gonna be good for the boys, like the guys that need the experience against tough teams. It's gonna be a good game for us, but man, the prospects are kind of dim, man.
I it seems dim, but this game plan for this game is also going to be different. Something that we've talked in group chats and on the podcast quite a few times is we do not believe in the throwing abilities of Jalen Hurts.
To take the quote right out of our group chat, he has poor arm talent.
He can sling it. I think the longer the pass goes, the less accurate he is. And I think he
Yeah.
has some shortcomings even in that mid range. Obviously, we his average yards of passing this past week was very poor. They ran the ball a lot, but I think that can play into a strength that the Kansas City Chiefs have in terms of we do not necessarily have to play this game as if we're 2+ scores behind. Obviously, that happened in the Super Bowl. This is totally different circumstances. I don't think, and coming off of what we saw in Week 1 from the Eagles, I they clearly have the capabilities to boat race us, especially with the defensive side. But I don't think we have to play like they have or like they are boat racing us. Very much like against the Chargers, I felt like our game plan was very much, oh crap, we're going to be down quite a bit. We have to go out and sling the ball. Meaning, I think Andy Reid is actually going to run the ball this week. Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are going to get more than a couple touches apiece. I fully expect 20 rushing attempts between our two running backs against the Eagles this week,
It's a great
minimum.
expectation to have. Whether or not that actually happens is to be seen, dude.
To be
To
seen,
be seen.
to be seen, but it happened for a majority of last season. 15 to 22 carries on average for the running back room last season. I think that will happen this week, and that has to be a key to win. Is we have to run the ball. We have to be able to condense
I was gonna say because
the
if it doesn't happen, I really don't think we have a shot of winning this game. If we come out with a
no
very similar game plan and the play calling's the same as week one, the Eagles will beat us.
100%, and it will not be close. It will not be close. Andy Reid, you have to run the ball this week. You've got to bring those DBs in. You got to pack in the box, and then you've got to like it cannot be 4 up front beating us again in this game. And if 4 up front is beating us, which again we've got a left tackle here, young, very good, think he can get the job done. Juwan Taylor, if he gets moved out for Jalen Moore very quickly, I don't think we have those problems that we've been seeing. And the 4 up front isn't going to beat us like they did in the Super Bowl. I think change those things around, actually run the ball a little bit here. That's going to open up the game. And I don't think their DBs are as good as they were last year. The Eagles. I mean, still not taking anything away. This is a very good defense. I don't think the DBs are as good as they were last season, especially in the Super Bowl. And so I think there's some ability to be able to maneuver around some pieces as well. But running the ball, is a key for the Chiefs to win.
So I'll go opposite side of the ball, and the end of this, like the way I wrap it up, might be a little vague, but I did see someone do a little bit of film study on the Chargers game, and we had a situation. So Keenan Allen's corner route touchdown near the goal line, we gave him a certain look um, to to like we showed a look that just like the person that was doing the film study was like normally quarterbacks would check out of this play. Like I believe it was like a cover zero. There was going to be pressure or like certain looks where um the route that I'm trying to remember this. I'm trying to remember this. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Okay. It wasn't cover zero. Cover zero was the Quentin Johnston touchdown. But we gave a certain look on the goal line that like the guy doing the film study said any other quarterback would check out of his play. But Herbert has obviously seen this look before because he plays this all the time and probably done film to where he knew that the route combination that he had, the DBs were not going to be able to cover it. Okay. So through this film study, and what I'm trying to portray here is that the defense, Spags, needs to start switching up his looks. If we have quarterbacks that see something that we put out, like a look that we put out on the field a lot, and they have it figured out, they know that I don't have to change my play. I know the route combination is going to get me where I need to go. Spags needs to start switching up those looks a little bit. Like I'm the position that we're in, the long-term
Yeah,
success, like
yeah.
Spags probably has methods that are tried and true, but we like football is an innovative game, and once people start catching up to your tactics, you need to start changing it a little bit. So I want to see at least, especially since we just played this team in the Super Bowl, like there needs to be some disguises or certain looks on defense that the Eagles probably saw in the Super Bowl, and we have something changed to trick them or lure them into feeling like they have us figured out because like just going off of Spags's regular stuff, people have started to figure that out. Guys like Justin
Uh,
Hurts.
I would agree, and I would also go to say, disguising coverages is one of Spags' bread and butters, right? Like we
Which
can
is
go
why I
back over the
think
last
this type of feedback is realistic that our coach might make a change. Like,
and I agree. What I would say is I think we're also handicapped at the DB position. We've got some guys who haven't been there very long. We've got some guys who are young, some guys who in previous years played really well, and then last season did not. And so there could be some handicap capabilities, at least in game one, why it wasn't disguised as much. It's definitely a key to this game. I think it's definitely going to get changed up a little bit. But that could have been some of the reasons why is like our DB room is either fairly new and or young. Um, and so I think there's just some limitations in at least in week one why it was that way.
I mean, you say that, but they've been practicing together for
Whole off
months.
season.
Yeah. So I want because I feel like Spags does do this and can do this, but like we might be getting caught up to a little bit when it comes to his schemes and looks, but just, give the Eagles some looks that they saw in the Super Bowl and make some changes to where like we trap them, like play the mental game where like, oh, you think you're getting this look and then now we back out of it or switch some like move around on the field to change up what the Eagles were assuming they were getting. Like we need to just be innovative and not let the rest of the league catch up to us when it comes like because the disguises and the blitz packages and the stuff like that's Spags wheelhouse. Like that's what he
Yep.
does. So continue with that And don't let the guys that are studying our defense like figure us out by tape. Like just keep it fresh. We should really focus on that for the Eagles because we just lost to them in the Super Bowl. They obviously had some things figured out about our defense, and we need to start switching it up so, like effectively. Like I don't know how else to put it, and it seems very vague, but
Yeah. Well, I think one of the pieces it'll be my final key to the game, but it stays on the same side because I don't think there's a whole lot offensively that necessarily needs to be adjusted. We saw in quarters 3 and 4, Pat obviously had to go Superman, and there's some play calling things that need to go on. But realistically, I think what we've got with the offense can get the job done. Defensively, what happened against the Chargers cannot happen again here against the Eagles if we need a shot to win. Defensive
it's going
line
to be
has
tougher to get to
to.
the quarterback this week.
This is a fantastic, and that's exactly where I was going. Defensive line has to do something because the Eagles' offensive line is one of the best in the league. Now they do have an injury with Landon Dickerson. He started this preseason, or he had in the preseason an injury. He then was limited most of last week and didn't finish last week's game due to I can't remember. I think it was his back. He had the knee injury in the offseason, then he had or preseason, then he had the back issue last week. He's been limited in practice all week so far. I expect him to continue to be limited. Will he play? I don't know as of this moment. But even if he does play, he's going to be limited. He's going to be hampered, and that needs to be attacked. This offensive line is very good, but we also know we have a good defensive line. It was one of the things we were more excited about coming into this season. If Chris Jones is going to take on the doubles, we need somebody else to step up and win one-on-ones. George Karlaftis, you had a motor until you got paid and then decided in game one against the Chargers that you weren't going to rush at all.
Put Leo on the edge.
Leo on the edge. Charles Omenihu, I saw you get absolutely flatlined multiple times against the Chargers. They also have a very good offensive line, but that cannot happen again. You cannot have offseason after offseason after offseason where you just talk all of this talk and then do absolutely nothing when you are trying to get paid. Because all you do is complain about not being paid for what you do. Well, you had a perfect opportunity in week 1 and you did shit with it. So here's week 2 against a very good team with one of the best offensive lines in the league. You need to show up. Spags, it's time for Ashton Gelati to hit the field. It's time. Get that man on the field for what we saw in the preseason. Again, it's preseason. Kid's got a motor, and kid's going to go out there and try every single snap. Get him on the field more often. And we've also been discussing, what's happening with Omar Norman Lott. Why is he not playing? Apparently, he is still slightly overweight. And one of the reasons why they aren't giving him snaps outside of the preseason is because they're trying to get him into a weight position. I don't care. He's not the 400 pounder from Florida who got cut by the Tampa Bay Bucks before the regular season. I don't care. This guy ate double teams for breakfast in college. The NFL is a different game, but I don't care. If you have him and Chris Jones side by side, one of them is getting double teams, and it's more likely going to be Chris Jones than Omar Norman Lott. I'm tired of seeing fat boy Derek Nottie out there and do absolutely nothing. We've seen it for 6 total years in Kansas City. I'm done with it.
Dude, Derek Nottie was a great depth piece before like he left. So
Depth,
don't
depth,
be
depth. The problem is he's a starter, and we also lost Tershawn Wharton, and we lost oh crap. Now I'm
Mike Dana
blanking.
or
No, Mike Dana. Mike Dana's on the outside. We lost Tershawn Wharton, and then we lost another defensive tackle whose mind escapes me at the moment. So that leaves us with Derek Nottie as the starter, who's a fantastic run stopper. So he's probably going to get a lot of utilization this week, as should be, because he is a good run stopper. But I also want to see Omar Norman Lott actually get some playing time. Will it happen? Unlikely, because he's
yeah,
overweight.
that's one of those tendencies that we know Spags doesn't. I mean, unless they're like first rounders and like we have to play them, like Spags doesn't play rookies.
Unless your name's Felix and Duke Uzama. Um,
He didn't even play his rookie year.
and he was a first round draft pick.
Oh, that's what you mean. Well, because he was bad. He was-
Still, but that's all I'm saying is like we've got the pieces there. You guys are complaining in the offseason that you're not getting paid for what you're worth and yada yada yada. Clearly nobody else is picking you up. Here you're handed two golden opportunities in week 1 and week 2. You shit it away in week 1. Well, guess what? Here's week 2. Go out and show the league that they should be paying you more, that there should be 31 other teams fighting for you. Here you go. Here's your option. Here's the opportunity handed before you. A minute you don't get flatlined out there multiple times. You got pancaked many times in that game. I don't want to see it happen again. That's the other key to the game for here is pressure needs to be created by the front four on the defensive side. Allow the linebackers to fill in gaps and find those holes when they go in rushing because it's going to happen with Saquon Barkley. We know that he's going to touch the ball. Got to be able to rush Jalen and have to be able to fill the holes. Cannot happen.
yeah, I mean, but honestly, that's the run game was our strength in week 1. We for the most
Very
part
good.
kept Saquon bottled up in the Super Bowl.
Yep. We've got a
Um,
game plan to do it.
yeah, it's like
Can't let him pass on us.
as good as Saquon is, I really I don't I don't fear him as like that much with our defense and the way we play the run. Nick Bolton making tackles. You know, our Derek Nottie, as you said, good run stopper. Chris Jones, pretty decent all the way around. Just didn't necessarily show it last game. Um, so yeah, I'm the run game on defense is probably one of the things I'm least worried about. But that also plays into what I feel like the Eagles would have to do to win this game is Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball like he did in the Super Bowl. Like
Yep.
the way the Eagles beat us is they have to do what Justin Herbert did and attack us downfield.
Yes.
Like the secondary was clearly the weak point on the last game. So the Eagles are going to have to get away from the poor average depth of target out of Jalen Hurts, and he's going to have to let it fly. Um, he's shown that he can't. I mean, even in the first Super Bowl we played against Jalen Hurts, like he showed that he could compete. Like he shows that he can throw the ball. It's not necessarily consistent when it comes to the regular season, but like he's shown he can do it against us. So that's
Yep.
how the Eagles beat us again. Is everything else stays the same, but Jalen Hurts has got to do this
Got to
thing.
let it go.
Got to
Got to
let it
let it
go.
go. And they have a wide receiver core to let that happen. You've got AJ
Yeah.
Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, who came in to the league and underperformed given his situations. Not necessarily all his fault, but he showed in week 1 for the Eagles that he can get it done. I think that's really the only key to victory for the Eagles, given what we've seen. Right, they play defense very well, run the ball very well. If Saquon's getting locked up, what is the one thing that they have to do? They've got Jalen Hurts has to move the ball
The
down the
rest
field.
of the keys to their game is like play like you know how to play. Like
Yeah, yeah,
don't do anything stupid. Don't spit on
yep.
anybody before the game and get kicked out. Like
Now that's the other thing. Jalen Carter's going to be back. That's gonna be a tough matchup
I like
for
so
our
I'm
offensive
really not
line.
happy that that whole thing transpired. Like I would have taken all the allegations about the NFL wanting to keep the Chiefs as like the face of the league if they would have suspended Jalen Carter for our game, but like the fact that his suspension served was that first game, and he gets to come back the first NFL game he gets to play after that situation is against us. Like, dude's gonna be ready to take some freaking heads off, and I like already kind of hate that about him, but he's gonna be fired up for this first game, knowing that he
Yes.
didn't get a chance to go out week 1.
It also doesn't make sense that the NFL allowed this to happen. It does and it doesn't, right? Like he missed the game, he forfeited game check. It didn't even kick off. Like that does make sense, but this is going to set a very wild precedent because why are the Chiefs not immediately going, "Hey, with Rasheed, you want to play? You want to play? You were out all of last season. Why don't you either give back money or forego the next 5 game checks since you sat out week one and play?" What NFL would you allow that to happen? Like anybody who's been suspended, you take a weird situation. Not saying that Deshaun Watson should even be allowed to play football right now, but you take a situation like that. He sat out all of his time in Houston before he went to the Browns, and then it got his 10 game suspension. Could he not have said, "Take back this money or withhold my X amount of game checks for the next X amount of games, and then I'll just play for free"? Like whatever like this sets a very weird precedent for the NFL is all I'm saying moving forward with suspensions
Well, we know
is
that like
if the target is only that you also do not get paid, why don't I just forego the money?
yeah, I mean we've the Roger Goodell led NFL, it's always it's got a few head scratchers when it comes to policies and precedents and things like that. And this is just going to be another thing that they kind of have to weasel their way around. Like, oh, we did it like this time, but different circumstances, quote unquote. Like they're gonna
Let's
precedent is a weird
let's
word for it because I feel like they can. Roger Goodell is the
you
type
can.
is that type of governing body is just gonna like we're gonna have a decision on a certain case one way and then completely abandon it for the next one that comes around because
Yes.
it's not yeah.
The NFLPA won't allow that to happen too much longer as the CBA comes up. But to use this in an example of something that's upcoming, right? Quinshawn Judkins, the running back for the Browns, drafted from Ohio State, he's now finally joined the team, signed his deal after week one. The NFL is expected to give him a suspension. We don't know how many games of something that happened in the offseason. If it's only 1 game, or maybe it's 2 games, maybe he's not available to. If it's 2 games, he's not available to play in week two. But could he go and say, "Well, hey, week one I didn't play. Here's the money, whether you paid me or not, whatever that means." Does that not get 1 game off of my suspension, however many games it comes out of? If it's 1 game, could I not play in week two? That it's like I said, it's just a weird thing that's happening here. It's very dumb. I don't like that it's happening to us, but it's just more overall. This sets a weird thing for what may or may not happen in the future. And like you said, Roger Goodell can kind of just do whatever he wants until the new CBA is signed.
Yeah, I'm hate Jaden Carter. Jaden Carter? Jalen Carter. I hate Jalen Carter.
I am ready to pick this game. Do you have anything else?
Nah, man. And I mean, we know what the picks are gonna be because we are delusional Homer Chiefs fans.
That's right. Well, Tybo, you took last week, so I'm going to let you pick first. The Eagles are coming to Arrowhead, where the Chiefs are only 1.5 point favorites, dogs at the moment.
Chiefs.
You're going to hate me for this, but I'm taking the Eagles to win and cover in this game. I don't
Wow, so
think
like
out
what I
of
said like 5 seconds ago doesn't
yeah,
matter to you?
yeah. Well, you should know that also when we play the Bills, there's only been one time where I haven't taken the Bills in the regular seasons, which was last year. So as much
Garbage
as you
fan.
and Sean hate on me,
Why do you even have a Chiefs podcast, dude?
hey, I'm a realistic fan.
No, you're not.
Well,
Realistic
we
fans
do.
die for their teams. They bleed the colors of the jersey
Well, I do bleed red.
by default. Let me see the yellow because I'm not seeing it.
That's fair. Maybe in a few years, it might be in my eyes.
You expecting to get jaundice?
I was born with jaundice, so there you go.
Hmm. coming back for you.